If tone wood doesn't matter and pickups don't matter, then why a Les Paul sound different from a HSS Strat?
Oh man, now that statement is pure gold. Spyware 1100, I've got to thank you for inspiring this episode. You know what? Let's shoot out a Les Paul versus an HSS Strat because I just happen to have access to those things. As for them having different sounds, well, that's your claim anyway. But the big question is, do they actually sound different once you record them? Now, I'm not talking about a single coil Strat. We did that video last year and everybody could hear a single coil in a blind test. Turns out it wasn't a vintage 1966 Strat like everybody assumed, but rather a piece of shit 1986 Westone. So much for a guitar player's extremely developed sense of hearing once the visual's removed. But a Les Paul versus a humbucker Strat? Well, I'm not so sure there's much of a difference at all. Now look, I get it. This kind of thing goes against conventional wisdom. Conventional wisdom that was forged in the days before people could actually afford to record themselves. Now, this next comment here is the typical response I get for daring to suggest that humbucker pickups really don't sound all that different from one another once you actually record them.
Dude, you don't understand how pickups change the sound because you purposely don't want to do the proper live testing, as it would clearly defunct your point. For one, when you change pickups for a specific sound, you also rewire the guitar to allow those wanted harmonics to shine. You can't take us off-the-shelf Ibanez with low-end electronics and expect massive differences. The pickups only shine and influence the sound if you're selecting far end of tone differences, either side like tonal of money, in a guitar as well as electronics. But to reinforce this factor, you can set up an amp at a guitar center and plug in numerous guitars and notice immediate differences. If you own a nice guitar and install a pickup with similar characteristics, then you won't notice a difference.
Pardon me, sir, but I believe the word you're looking for is debunk and not defunct. Recommended reading to help you brush up on those all-important communication skills would be Hooked on Phonics, followed up by C Spot Run. Now, what you're hearing at Guitar Center is the acoustic sound of the instrument, which is being blended with the amp sound. And this is easily observable. This is also an easy mistake to make, as I've been making the same mistake for years, and so many others are as well. However, once you record those guitars, the apparent differences become minimal to almost non-existent. We've shown this on the show, and this has also been inadvertently demonstrated by many others making YouTube videos trying to debunk my findings. See what I did there? Now, I've done a lot of these tests, and the biggest complaints are always the same. There's too much distortion, there's no cleans, there's no soulful lead playing. Fuck's sakes. Okay, that might be valid, but let's be honest here, I'm not really interested in those tones because I'm interested in creating awesome metal tones. This is a metal production channel after all. However, I've put together today's test in order to see if there's any kind of truth behind those complaints, because people love to bitch without bothering to back up anything with even a minimal amount of evidence, because that would take effort. So today we went down the entire Tone Snob checklist and put together a rig that would make even the most discerning Eric Clapton fanboy wet themselves. Starting with the Two Rock TS1, this double clone checks in at a hefty $6,500 new for just the head, and is the envy of every guitar player who spends his time wondering why he doesn't sound like Eric Johnson instead of practicing. Next up, we're running that amp into a custom 2x12 by Happy Cabs from Los Angeles, and mounted in there are the things that actually make the sound: two vintage 1977 Celestion Blackbacks. They're beautiful, they're rare, and most importantly, they're what's actually generating the tone. Microphones being used are from Lewitt, the 440DM Dynamic and the 640 TS, an incredible multi-pattern condenser that is fast becoming a favorite on guitar cabs here at Spectre Sound. Now these are going into a Neve 1073 OPX, and as far as preamps go, yeah, these are the real deal. And those are connected to an RME Fireface UFX Plus, a legendary recording interface by one of the best in the business. And I've also brought in a world-class guitar player, Mr. Christian Vane, whose skills on the guitar are light years beyond mine. Now, making this a Les Paul versus Strat challenge would be pointless, as you'd have a 50% chance of picking the correct guitar. I'd rather that you use your ears to tell us which is which, so I've brought in 4 guitars total. Hey Christian, what's up with that Les Paul?
This is a Gibson Collector's Choice number 39 Minnesota Burst.
How much was it?
Enough.
No, what they want to know, how much?
I got it for $4,000.
US?
Yep.
Okay, there we go.
Don't look at the price on Reverb.
Okay. Is that expensive enough for you fuckers? We've also got my Fender American Ultra Strat in HSS configuration. It features the Ultra double tap humbucker and costs a cool $2,200 at Sweetwater. Now, according to Spyware 1100, those two guitars should sound different, and therefore it should be no problem to discern one from another in a blind shootout. But to make it even more interesting, we've also brought in a PRS loaded with EMGs valued at roughly $4,500 US. And just to really make the tone snob squirm, I've also included one of my favorite guitars, a Harley Benton double cut that costs a whopping $269, which is loaded with Tesla pickups, because it can't possibly sound good compared to these much more valuable instruments, right? Of course not! That would be downright silly. So we're running two tests here, clean and edge of breakup. There will be no high gain in this video because I am tired of the broken record comments about, you should do clean tones. Well, tone snobs, be careful what you wish for, because now's your chance to show off those golden ears of yours that you keep telling us are so fucking amazing. And most importantly, we're showing off the recorded tones. You know, the part of the guitar sound that the rest of the world hears, not just you playing with yourself. All right, let's run the clips. That's a real toughie, isn't it? I'm not so sure which guitar is which here, but I'm certainly interested in hearing what you think. Now, next up, let's run an edge of breakup tone. The 2-rock we're using here isn't exactly what I'd call a metal master, but if you're looking to wow the crowd at your next gig at the old folks home, this amp will certainly do the trick. Okay, now I gotta be completely honest with you guys. The guitars that I introduced here are the ones in the blind shootout. There is no trickery going on because I really want you to use your ears and tell me which guitar is which. I also came across an extremely interesting observation from the viewer, the Armada. Check this out.
I'd like to point out that for the most part, Metallica, Slayer, and In Flames all used an EMG 81 in the bridge, and all those bands sound wildly different. So Glenn's point is kind of prove it.
You know, I never really thought of it like that before. That's kind of brilliant, to be honest. Thanks for sharing that statement. I'm going to keep bringing that up the next time someone starts droning on and on about how awesome their pickups are. So, what guitar is the Strat? Which guitar is the Les Paul? I want to know. Listen closely, otherwise you might just wind up picking this cheap Harley Benton, and then all your tone snob credibility goes right down the toilet. Choose wisely. Now, before we go, please hit that subscribe button so you get notified when I publish the follow-up video to this revealing which guitar is which. It's certainly going to be interesting because I don't even know what guitar is which. Only my editor does. I'll see you guys then, and remember, before you drop down your hard-earned money, please consider this. Pickups are a lot like college degrees. They cost a lot of money and don't really do much.